What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the ashsaidit show. This is my 2000th episode since 2014. I appreciate everyone who has ever supported this program. You know, I started it recording out of my car mornings, and those first probably couple hundred episodes were quite sad and depressing, but y'all stuck it out there with me, and I appreciate and I love y'all for it. And we've got even bigger and better things coming. Today, my guest is somebody that I have been rooting on, cheering on, watching from afar, and honestly didn't think that he would have time in his schedule because this man is a busy, busy man. You've seen him on programs such as Black Lady Sketch Show, Abbott Elementary, Insecure. He's got a Spectrum commercial with his homeboys. I am talking about the wonderful, ultra-talented Tahir Moore. Tahir.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a beautiful intro.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I really, and shout out to Tony Rouse, because Tony's who connected us. Yeah. And I was telling him, I was like, Tahir Moore, that man is busy. That man probably don't sleep. Ain't no way he gonna talk to me. He was like, nah, I got you. So shout out to Tony Rouse. Y'all go check out his candles and scents and all that good stuff.
Good guy. Definitely good guy.
So Tahir, I mean, this resume is just, it continues for you, brother. It goes on there. But I want to go to the origin, the beginning, not conception and birth. We don't have to go back that far. But I want to get to, what was your lifelong dream? What is it that you wanted to do when you were a child?
I've always wanted to act and with act also entertain. So the comedy kind of happened just because I was naturally funny. I enjoy making people laugh. It's just always something that is kind of second nature and pretty easy. When it comes to being a comedian and structuring a joke, there's definitely rules that you apply to that. That becomes a little bit more difficult. But like entertaining people has always been what I wanted to do in my life. I've always just wanted to help people and make them feel good about themselves and make them feel better. So that's kind of where it started. And acting was just in a way to escape my reality. It's you grow up broke, poor, underprivileged neighborhood, that type of thing. You kind of want to be somebody else sometimes, like not necessarily not be black, but have an idea of what a Cosby kid felt like, or, something like that. So acting was just a way to get out of the reality and feel like you were more empowered than you were until you realized how much power you had as an adult or a black male or a black female. So, that's why I really wanted to do, and that's what really resonated with me early on.
So for you as an actor, as an artist, what would you say was the first big hurdle for you?
Well, I guess embracing the fact that I was going to have a different path, being comfortable with being different, because I had a lot of situations that separated me from my peers, being an early dad and having to work and not get to go to the school dances and things of that nature. Also, I was very talented with instruments. So, I was in band. I was in marching and concert band. So, while the kids were outside playing, I was also rehearsing and studying music and studying scales. And then I played tennis. I wanted to play football. I wanted to play basketball. I just wasn't good at basketball, but I wanted to play football. But because of my asthma, my mom was almost like a helicopter parent when it came to that. So she wouldn't let me play any contact sports. So I'm this light-skinned kid with freckles in the hood, and I'm playing a tenor sax and I'm playing tennis. And it's like there were no boxes and groups for me back then. I was, I just had to be cool with people I was cool with, and oftentimes it was mainly just my family until I got a little older.
Gotcha. Was there any point that you felt like this was not going to work? Maybe I should just look at like a 9-to-5 or figure out something. I'll figure out another talent or another craft.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, you're going to have that a lot when you are starting off, especially when you start off in a field that has no blueprint. Like, you can go to school, take all the classes and the courses. You can become a lawyer. You can, start with as a lawyer that's what do they call it? The free representation when you go to jail, you pay the money. You can make partner. You can become, a partner at a law firm. You can go to school and become a doctor. Those are laid out blueprints for some level of success. Now, how far you go with that, kind of depends on you and your practice and how dedicated you are. But for the most part, that's a blueprint for success with certain careers. With acting and comedy, there is no blueprint. You can do everything that, somebody has suggested you do, or you got, kind of hints or helpful advice from. You still not make it to be a household name. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you're not successful. Right. That comes with what you want from that career path. Like, I don't have to be, nor do I really want to be the biggest name in comedy or acting. Right. I would like to have one long-running sitcom. Long-running can be anything from 150 episodes or more. I would like to have 2 box office hit movies and maybe 2 comedy specials. And those comedy specials could be 30-minute specials. So it could be 1 hour-long comedy special, and I'm good. Like, I don't need all the access, accolades, and titles. I'm not reaching for the crown. I don't need to be dubbed anything by anybody. I just want to entertain those that enjoy the work I put out. And I'm not chasing the money like that. Like, the money's always going to come, and I also don't have a big need for a whole lot of money. If I have a nice place, my family's taken care of, and we can go on vacation when we want to, I'm satisfied. I like old school cars. I don't need, cars that cost $250,000. I like old schools. I like buying old schools off of eBay, fixing them up, and then selling them and keeping the ones I like. That's it.
Hey, that's it. Just keeping it to the basics. And I think a lot of more people today really need to think on those lines. I think a lot of what we see with artists that may not necessarily make their quote-unquote mark is that they're living above their means. And they're getting these big luxurious houses. And I mean, even here in Atlanta, like, people, the part of it that really is irritating at times is people look at these reality shows and they're like, oh my gosh, did you see so-and-such's house? Did you see what car they driving? And they don't realize all that stuff is rented. Right? I was a PA. I used to be on set with all of these reality shows. And, we would have rental agreements that I would have to print off and get it to the stage manager and things of that nature. So people are seeing things on television and they're taking it as real life. And reality needs to set in at some point, hopefully. But
well, I mean, that's they sell it to us like it's real life. Like, when I did MTV's Your Mama. And I represented like I was living in Atlanta. And I was very much still living in St. Louis, still attending my college. I was driving back and forth to Atlanta from St. Louis to go film this show. And they gave me a fake house like I was from Buckhead and all of this. But, I mean, that's what they want to sell it like that. But everything is scripted. Even... reality shows. So, of course, people are going to think that. Of course, kids and teenagers are going to think that the cars and the mansions and the music videos belong to the entertainers and they have all this money. They don't know that advance that the rapper got signed to the record for is basically a loan. They don't know that he has to pay that back in CD sales and streams, or if they on the 360, everything, merch, CD streams, tour, and then until you pay that back, you're not actually making any money. Like, most people don't know that because those are the behind the scenes details of the industry. But the dream's not sold like that. The dream's not sold with the entirety of everything it takes. It's sold with the allure and the mystere to get new people to come into that field. So I get it, but at the same time, I do wish that we had certain things in place to keep reality a little more visible. I wish we had things in place to help when people do get to that point where they're making millions of dollars or, hundreds of thousands of dollars, so they don't end up broke like a lot of retired athletes, a lot of, rappers and actors of the past. And that's something that I even fell into. The whole tax situation was like, man, I didn't know what I should have done. And now I'm working with the gathering spot out here in LA so we can bring more financial literacy and awareness to people that are in the entertainment and in the arts. So when they do get that big payday, they know what to do with that money. They know where to invest it. They know how to get a life insurance policy and start investing in that so you can write that stuff off, and then you get it up to term. You can take that money out and it'll be tax-free. But until you get in a situation or a pitfall where you have to deal with the reality of that, you just don't know. And there needs to be more classes in high school before you get to college.
Yes.
In high school about finance, about APR. These kids get to college that first time away from the house, and Bank of America offers them $500 when they sign up for this account. Who's not going to take that?
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? As a struggling college kid. So it's a lot that we need to do better about, and that's part of what I'm trying to do to make sure I'm doing my part.
Absolutely. I mean, always giving back. I mean, that's a key thing that I feel like a lot more people need to be laser focused on doing, and not necessarily laser focused, but we all have to give back in some way, whether it's volunteering in just your local community. You know, I help out a lot with the animal shelters that are here, and some of the different grounds and parks and stuff. So all that giving back is always important. So with your career in mind, what would you say was your moment of confirmation? Like that moment that just like you just light up in thinking about, and that moment that you will always remember?
I don't know if I've had that moment of confirmation. I think a lot of the opportunities and steps that I've been afforded have been from blind faith. There have been moments where I felt like internally, like, yeah, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, that comes from Insecure, you know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, working from All Deaf, going on tour, going on world tours, being able to take my mom out of the country on a comedy tour. Those moments have definitely played a part in motivating me to keep going. But a lot of it is just blind faith, like believing that a guy brought me this far, he ain't gonna stop now. Like, my God be showing out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your God be doing.
Exactly.
But my God be showing out. And like right now, it's a difficult part. You know, we just came off of a very long strike, and we're now in a time where they're not doing a lot of filming. Commercials are slim. Bookings for live action and sitcoms are even slimmer. And there's a huge pool of talent to pull from. And, you know, I have peers that are advancing comedically, whether it be on tours or, you know, specials or Netflix as a joke. And it is difficult sometimes to see the people on your side start to pass you, so you feel. But you have to remain vigilant in your course of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look to the side too much, not only will you start to potentially harbor ill will, not necessarily to that person, but just to the circumstances of them, you feeling like they are passing you, but you'll also start to get off course because you're not looking ahead. It's like, you know, if you're walking on a treadmill, you're walking ahead, you got your eyes open, but the moment you close your eyes, you look to the side for too long, you will start to, you know, stumble a little bit. You might step on the actual frame of the treadmill and lose your footing. So it's okay to be, you know, aware of what's going on, but like, I try to not focus on what everybody else is doing. And there are going to be those hard times. Like I said, right now, not booking a whole lot, not auditioning a whole lot. So this is an opportunity for me to go back into the lab and like, okay, what haven't I tried yet? Or what can I improve on? Or, you know, don't be afraid to try something and fail at it, you know, like, because even if you fail at it, you can be like, okay, well, what did work from this attempt and what didn't work? Did I have fun? Because if I had fun, then, all right, well, let's examine what didn't work, why it didn't work, and how I can make it work. And then I can go back and try it again in a couple of months or the next month. But you have to look at every opportunity like that, because if you don't hype yourself up, if you don't encourage yourself, if you don't get you a tribe that will lift you up in those hard times, it's easy to fall victim to doubt and self-deprecation and all of those things, even while you're praying, man, because, you know, you pray maybe 10 minutes out of the day, 5-10 minutes out of the day, but the reality is the rest of that time you can be beating up on yourself, and it's easy to succumb to that negative thinking. So you just got to surround yourself with the right people, keep moving, stay vigilant, and focus on you.
Definitely. So, Tahir, what is next for you? Can we talk about anything? Is anything, I know you always got stuff in the lab cooking, there's some on the stove,
Yeah. I mean,
so.
Listen, if you got a direct line to Jesus, you can ask him, because right now I'm just kind of floating. I got one of my shows that I was doing, Wording is Hard. We got a licensing deal with Tubi. So this last time I shot 12 episodes. I put 6 on my YouTube, and those are doing well right now. But the other 6 are going straight to Tubi as soon as we finalize the paperwork. They have a very rigorous process of getting things licensed and cleared. First, it has to meet their quality. Mm-hmm. Then it has to go through a licensing process. Then it has to get scheduled, and then they have to put it somewhere, and you can kind of hope for some marketing, or try to work out a deal with them for that. And if it does well, then you could try to bring something else to the table. So I'm hoping it does well, so I can possibly license my entire catalog to them, and that would just give me somewhat of a bigger platform and a bigger market to create and present new shows to as well. Aside from that, I have another show called Tie Sass, which is basically my version of Simon Says. It was a game that I used to play when I was on tour, when I worked for Truth, the smoking awareness campaign. Mm-hmm. And I'm playing this game kind of like a tournament style with my friends, and we filmed this at our studio. So everything was shot in-house. We did, I think, 8 episodes in one day, got those all done and finished, and they're basically all edited now. So that's going to drop in June. I know people are going to be listening to this in July. So you guys can go back and probably check, 4 or 5 episodes at this time when this drops. And aside from that, it's just going to be, just staying vigilant, staying ready. I don't have anything coming up, but I'm still going to take some acting classes just to keep that tool sharp and keep it ready in the toolbox. And when they do call, I'll be ready. Trying to lose weight, but that's an ongoing thing because food is delicious. They keep coming out with new burgers.
Everything is so good.
Yeah, it's always good.
And then what's good? That's the show that you did with Kevon and also Angel Moore. Are y'all gonna continue doing that? You're still eating food?
I'm not sure yet. Like the app is something that a lot of people enjoy. However, I'm not sure of the numbers and how well it's doing right now, because everybody is we have a team that's overseeing all of that and overlooking and kind of helping guide us to the next thing. So I don't know if it's going to be workplace comedy or bringing one of my shows over to the app. I also have a prank show over there on the app. So we're still trying to decide what's going to be the next thing for the summer/fall rollout for the app. But in the meantime, I'm just going to try to keep creating. I have a new show idea that I want to do with Turo. So me and my team are putting a deck together so we can pitch this to them and see if they want to be a sponsor for the show, because it's kind of like a comics and cars getting coffee, but it's more of like a road trip, and every car is different, and we're talking and playing games in the car. So that's the next. Those are the next couple of things that I'm working on immediately.
Sounds like a bit. I mean, you got your hands full to here. That's why I was, thankful to catch you when I did, because you
caught me in between productions. You definitely caught me in between productions, so this is a good time to do it.
Yes. Now, Tahir, I have a good friend of mine. I'm not going to name any names, but he has recently come into some social media success. We'll say that. Mm-hmm. And he has run into the problem now of women stalking him and really just kind of like showing up at places. He's a comic as well. And these women are showing up at places and just doing crazy stuff. And he's asking me what he should do. I told him, I said, file a report. I was like, go to the authorities and file a report. All of their names, go ahead and do it. But have you run into any crazy fans or any kind of situations like that?
Not too much, because, when I first started off, I kept my private life very, very private. Right. I determined what I, shared with the public and those following me. But now, people are very aware of my wife and her presence, and I don't typically run into that. I also, outside of, where I'm going to be performing, I don't typically post where I'm going to be. If I do post something, it's usually after I've left. Yeah. So, you just, you take precautions and stuff like that. When I do have big events and stuff like that, or brunches or parties and stuff like that. It's at appropriate places where, security measures are in place. Security is there. Also, I keep myself very insulated, so I might be moving with a team or a group of 5, or I might be moving with a group of 15. Hey. So, there's always somebody by my side, though, for the most part, when I'm out, so you don't just get a chance to, get immediate access to me. But I am accessible. People reach out when I'm out and they want to take pictures and stuff like that, and I love that. I love, making that happen for the people that are appreciative of my work and they support it. So I try to do that as much as possible, but thankfully I don't have that problem. I don't welcome it either. I don't want those problems.
We don't want that energy, but
it ain't for me.
Yeah, and that he's young and he's kind of grown up in the social media age, which a lot of us have, but it's a learning curve, I think. And, like I said, I told him, take those precautions. I told him the same thing you said. Don't tell people where you finna be at, or if you do, don't. It's hard to not promote, but still promote. But taking those precautions. I told him
the content matters too. I remember when there was a big bubble on Instagram and everybody was posting the videos with women half naked, exploiting their parts and all of that type of stuff, or the guys, or it's just very sexual content. I've never really leaned into that.
Right.
That's just not really my style. I feel like there's a time and a place for everything, and that's just not the brand that I'm pushing. Some people do it, they do it well, and it works for them. That's just not, that's just not my brand. So that's another thing. Like, the content that you put out is reflective of the audience that you would garner. So I try to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last but certainly not least, what advice do you have to offer to the next generation of creators?
Just with anything that you do, outside of it being a script, and even with the script, I would try to, base it in some form of truth and reality for you. When I'm doing jokes, a lot of my jokes are about, how I live with my family, how we interact, how I grew up, things that I'm going through now, things that I went through as a child. And it just makes it easier to pull from a place of authenticity than to, completely make something up. So that definitely, number one, helps. Number two, be careful of fads. A lot of people are doing things that something might go viral and then people might make their own interpretation of it, or, remix or something like that. So, be careful of that. If it's something that's harmless, you want to do a promo for sure, and you want to do something like that, fine. But if you are just, hopping on a bandwagon because that's hot right now, just remember, everything doesn't stay hot forever. And some of the stuff that was okay 20 years ago, now people are being called out for it. The misogynistic tone of it, or whatever that may be. So I always try to be true to you. Have a solid sounding board that you can run things by, and people that will give you an unbiased opinion, not just go with you because they're your friend, or they see your success and they want a piece of it, so they're not going to keep it real with you. You need to have some people with you that are going to tell you no. Yeah. Don't be afraid to hear no. A no doesn't necessarily mean a hard no in certain situations. If it's an opportunity that you get told no for, it could just be a not yet. Right. So, but when it is a no, you need to be observant of it. You need to be cognizant of it, and don't try to force anything. Anything that I've tried to force typically doesn't work out. So don't try to force anything.
Sounds like the plan. Tahir Moore, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and much more success to you, your whole team. We stay on team Tahir over here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so
man,
we see you up. And like I said, much more success. Look forward to all the many projects that are coming up. I'd love to have you back, when you got some more announcements, because I know, like I said, you in the lab cooking up some stuff. So I know
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Definitely appreciate that. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.